So we've gone through the process of setting this all up. So how do we make this a template file and then reuse it for future projects? So there's kind of two steps. The first step is to save the file as a template file. So that part's pretty simple. We're going to go up to File, Save As, and we're just going to save it right here. There's an option for template. So we're going to save it as a template. This part gets a little confusing. Not the part of saving it, but the next part. So I'm just going to go into our tutorial folder here, and I'm just going to call this CAD template. And so that's all we have to do for the saving part. We're just going to make a name like this, and we're going to click Save. Once we save that file, we need to do some cleanup. So we have a building in here. We have some stuff that, we don't want to start with a building that's already in there. We want to just start from scratch every time. So let's go to our 3D view. And what I typically do, actually I might just hide our levels here. If you want to temporarily hide a category, I think I taught you the HH command. So you can HH to temporarily hide something. But if you want to hide a whole category, we can click on a level, and we can go down here to the sunglasses, and we go to hide category, and it temporarily hides the whole category. But what we can do here is we go into the 3D and we select and just hit delete the whole building. Pretty scary, but now what we have is a blank view. So we have our sections set up, we have our 3D views set up, and all that kind of stuff. So once we do that, the next step is to save. So we're just going to go up here and click the Save button. And that's really our template setup. So it's taking a project file, saving it as, deleting the building. Obviously, if we had text and annotations and all that stuff on the different sheets and views, you'd want to delete it. So the next question you might ask is how you use a template file. So I'm just going to close that file. So it's completely closed. This is I think this thing's blocking it here. This is the student file for assignment 2. So don't worry about that one being there. So if we want to go to use a file, normally what we would do is we would go to File, New, and we'd go to Browse, and we'd find that default project file that I mentioned before, right? So we'd go to English Imperial, and we find that default file. So this is the Imperial version. Obviously, if you just stayed in the same folder, you'd have the default metric version. So that's what we would normally do. We're not going to do that. That's what we would normally do, right? And so now if we want to use our template file, we're going to go find it. So let's go here, and we're going to click our template file there, and we're going to click Open now. And so now here it says our CAD2001 template versus default. And so here it asks us, what do we want to do? Create a new project or new project template? We're just going to create a new project because we already created the template file. And so I'll click OK here. And we're in a blank thing, blank page. The one thing you'll see at the top here is it says Project 1 up the top. So it doesn't say CAD default or CAD2001 template anymore. It says Project 1 because we're creating a new project, so it just gave it a default name. And so if we wanted to start to draw, I'll get to you in a second. If we wanted to start to draw, we can just go anywhere. So we'll go to our level 1 here, and we'll draw a box. So I'm just going to go here. I'm going to draw a box. And this is really the power of this. So I drew a box there. I'm going to go to print to PDF. We're going to be a little risky here. We're going to go to print to PDF. We actually didn't set up our sheets last time. So let's set up our sheets. So I'm going to go here. And I might go back and actually fix that in the template so the sheets are already properly set up for printing. I'll show you how to fix that as well. So we're going to go here, and we're going to grab all of these sheets and click our new button up here, which I think I should do that again, all sheets. And then let's just click. We're going to hold the shift button to the bottom, and we're going to grab all those. We're going to save as current set, and we're going to click select, And then here, we're going to click Save As. We're going to call this per sheet size. This title doesn't really matter, but I like to have that there because down here we set the paper size to be sheet size. So it's basically saying whatever the size of the title block is the size that it's going to make the sheet. We're going to click zoom to 100%. And I might go back and do this one more time just to fix it. And we're just going to go back here and click save since we changed the parameter down here. We're going to click save. And as I mentioned, I like to use the date. So I'm going to do 2024-0920 and then leave it like that. So the reason why I'm going to just create these sheets right now is really simply that we already set up all the sheets. And there's probably a little bit of cleanup to do here. But I just want to show you how, by doing this, you could print a PDF and within minutes, all your sheets populate. So you don't have to go through the work of setting up all the sheets every time, setting up all the views every time. It's basically already done. So, obviously this took me 6 minutes to do, it looks like, based on this. Let me just go to here, if it decides to open. All right, my computer's not cooperating today. You can do it, computer. So it doesn't look pretty, but we have our cover page with our 3D view. Again, not pretty, but cover page with our 3D view. We have our different sheets set up here. We have some elevations set up. Sections, ISOs, our 3D sections. So we have a whole bunch of those views already set up and ready to go. And so, again, just a really cool way to be efficient. So for this next project, we've given you a Revit template file. You actually don't have to use it. You certainly can if you want, but we can just use this and just print the views that we already set up. So it's definitely a little bit premature for me to be teaching this, but I know if I teach this right now and you're to set this up and do this for yourself, it's going to save you hours on every project. So that's why I think it's even though it's premature, I think it's a good time to teach this thing for efficiency's sake. So you had a question.
It says unable to access the model, and then try launching the template.
Okay, let me take a look at that. I'm going to do one thing and then I'll come back to that. So if we go back to our Revit here, I'm just going to not save this. I'm going to go to no. So if we want to edit our template and do something differently, I noticed a couple errors in the template file. If we want to edit the template file, instead of going to File New, we want to go to File Open. And so when you want to use your template file, you want to go to File New. If you want to edit your template file, you go to File Open. So a little confusing, but I'll probably repeat that. So we're going to go to our folder here. We're going to open up our template file. And so you can see at the top now, it says CADE2001 template. So it's not our project one, it's our template file that we created. And if you go here, the first thing let's do, let's go to export and let's just set up those sheets again, right? So let's go here. Let's go to new. We're going to call this all sheets. We're going to select our sheets. So I just usually turn off the views so it's easier just to find all the sheets. Grab the top, click the bottom here with the shift key. We're going to save as current set. We're going to select. And then I'm going to go down here and save this print setup as per sheet. And we're going to save this, or we're going to change this to zoom to 100%. This setting is very important because if you don't zoom to 100% when you print, it's going to crop it in and it's going to basically do what's called fit to paper. And when you fit to paper, it actually removes the scale. So if you were to try to scale a drawing after you did fit to paper, it would not be to scale anymore. So that's why that part's important. And we'll just go here and click save again. So we'll just fix those two things, right? The next thing I noticed is if I went to one of my floor plan views, this one has those elevation things there, so that's not cropped. Let's turn on the crop there. Our site view I think was good. That was fine. Yeah, and then I'm just going to go back to the first floor plan thing for 1 second. Do you remember how we did the post shade last time? We post shaded on all the walls, shaded them black. So when I just drew that box before, it didn't post shade the walls in. So I'm just going to go here for a second and just go VG on this view. I'm going to go down to our walls, and let's make a solid cut pattern background of black. We're going to click OK. And I'm just going to do it for my second floor as well. Go to wall, cut pattern of black. Click OK. And then last one would be going to our sections. And we'll do the same VG. We'll go down to, we're gonna actually on the sections, we're gonna do a couple things. We're gonna click ceiling. I'm gonna hold the control button on my keyboard, and I'm gonna click floors as well. I'm gonna click roof. Where is roof? Roof. And then down here and click walls. And I'm gonna go to patterns. So the cool thing is when you hold control and you select a few of them, they all select at the same time. We're gonna go to cut patterns, solid fill, black. There is actually a way to create a template and just reuse that, but I'm not going to show you that today. I'll show you that in a couple weeks. So let's just do that for that view. And then we're going to just do this for the other section view as well. So let's go to VG. We're going to go to ceilings. We're going to go to floors. And we're going to go to roofs. Again, just holding the control button and walls, and do a cut pattern of solid for black. And we're going to do it once more. I did foreground. We're going to do that to background. And again, the reason why I'm doing the background pattern is kind of a newer thing, but my rule is the foreground pattern is always a hatch. The background pattern is always solid fill. So that's why I use the solid color in the background. And then probably do a 3D section just to make that one consistent. Again, ceilings. We haven't really placed any ceilings yet, but I know it's something that we'd want to have the same. Floors, find the roof, and then down to the walls, and again, background. And so just to show you the power of this exercise, click OK here. We're done editing our template. So what we're going to do is we're just going to click Save right here. And we're going to close this. And so again, we're going to go to File, New this time. And we're going to browse, and we're going to find our template file. So we're going to go to our folders and find our template file. And so there's our template file. We're going to open our template file. And so the one thing I actually didn't talk about, which is actually, this is a good point. So you see how I have all these numbers here? So I have 001, 002. Revit loves to save backup files. Backup files are phenomenal. Never open them. Well, I mean, open them if you have a problem, but don't open them by default. Always open the file without the numbers. You can control how many backup files are saved, but basically I think Revit usually keeps 2 or 3 by default. So just every 15 minutes when it asks you to save, or 30 minutes, it saves that backup file. So just something to keep in mind. Make sure you always open the file without the numbers. And so we'll click Open here. And again, see how we're creating a new project. And again, we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to go to our level 1. We're going to draw a box again, like so. And look at it, it's already shaded in black, which is wonderful. And then we're just going to go up here to print a PDF. And we're going to print to that same folder. I'm going to call this 2024-0920. And as I mentioned before, I use timestamps. I don't do the final, the last final, the best final. And so I'm just going to go 0831, so 831, and I'm just going to save that like that. And if I know that I'm going to be saving a bunch of versions, I'll just start with the timestamps. But if I know I'm going to save one file, or if I know that I want to overwrite it and I don't really care about the versioning, I'll just keep saving with the same date, not that. And so let's go to our folder here again. We'll just wait for that to finish printing. It's down there. I don't know why my computer doesn't want to open files today. Just haven't been waiting long enough. So again, so see here, we have some nice clean floor plans. The roof, it's fine. And then when we start to go to our sections, they're already shaded in black. And we go to our 3D section, they're shaded in black as well. So again, very, very early for me to be teaching that, but I think that'll save you hours over the course of the semester because it's already there and already done for you, and you don't have to worry about setting that up every time. So I'm going to save this video separately, so we'll have that as kind of another version. But that's how to do that. I'm just going to pause it first, and then we'll look